but you would only make deliberate progress. Listen, some of you right now are surprised why you attended many programs this year. In measure the progress of your life, you are not so confident and happy about it. It's because of what we are talking about. Why? Because we have many people who go from programs to programs. They had an accumulation of programs they attended, but they cannot tell what role each of those programs fulfilled in their life. And until you can lay hold of a purpose for your life, everything you will do will only be an activity, and the only thing you'll be confident of is that I attended many programs without a purpose. Great progress that you made. So you must pay attention to why the purpose of your life is very important. I will not say so much about discovery because this session is not a discovery session. It's actually something to make you live your purpose. It's actually something to separate you from the crowd and to get you to the point where you are shielded from the foolishness and nuisance of the age. Because there's actually a foolishness and nuisance of the age. And let me tell you the truth, there are a lot of wealthy people that are sponsoring that foolishness and nuisance. Because they know that the more foolish people are, the more wealthy they will become. Because they know the more nuisance the young generation are, the more wealthy they will become. And you will not be confident to stand against them. Why? Because you have wasted the season where you should have gathered a lot of wisdom. So you must understand that purpose is not just a system, that is just a spiritual and church thing. It's actually something to make you arise to a point of life that nobody will be your mate years to come. Have you asked yourself, what's the reason why we have only few people celebrated in a generation out of the many billions that exist on earth? Have you ever asked yourself, what's the reason why in that your campus, there are only very minute percentage that we get to celebrate, but many of us gather to applaud them, but you never see to say, when will life be applauded? It's because you have not thought of the purpose of life that you need to live. And you must understand that never decide to go on a journey with somebody that has no purpose. Why? Because the probability of ending up in confusion and chaos is close to 1. So you wonder why many times you stepped into many relationships and at the end of the day it ended in tears. It was actually because you went into it without a clear purpose for your life. You wonder why a lot of times you studied and went to school for 4, 5, 6 years, and by the time you came out you were more confused than somebody who is an illiterate, because you did not come into studying with the purpose of life that needed to be attached to it. So you must realize that there's something purpose does to you that shields you from the confusion of the age. And everywhere where there is no purpose, there are 3 things you would always see. Number 1, you would always see confusion. Number 2, you would always see crisis. And number 3, you would always see a chaos.
Hi friend, thank you for watching this beautiful.
They will fight at the end. A marriage that ends together without a purpose, they will give birth to children that will be confused. And those children will now step up and begin to wonder, what kind of family did I come into? Let me tell you one thing, if for nothing you don't want to be purposeful because of the seeds that will come out of you. The reason why some of you are at the level you are and you are angry your life is because your parents joined themselves together without the purpose for life. And before you know it, you will transfer the same thing to your children, and your children will now come out with odor. I used to say something very humorously. At the end of the time, the world system creates a cycle you need to live. You were born, you were trained at home, you were sent to school, but you finish from school, they will tell you to go and serve. And when you finish serving, they will say get a job. After getting a job, the world will say it's time to marry. Is that also? When you say to children, they say 1 is not enough, give birth to another. 2 is not enough, give birth to another. And before you know it, you train those children, you grow old, and the only thing you're waiting for is to die. What a cycle of life that is so summarized. What a cycle of life that is so short. And you do not see the things that should be more than the system of the world. The world created that system. No wonder only few people become celebrated in a generation. Even from Bible days, how many people really mattered in the time of the children of Israel? Only few. Moses, Joshua, Caleb, and few other names. What happened to the many millions? How many people were celebrated in the time of Gideon, and few people that we only heard of their name? What happened to the multitude? You now begin to wonder why you attend many programs, but you cannot tell what role they need to play in your life. So Ignition 2.0 must not be that another program that you will only add to the list of the ones you attended, but you let out of here with a deliberateness and with an intention that you want to live your life with a difference. Let me tell you why foolish people will keep coming to you. They will keep coming to you because they have not seen a definition of their life that will repel them away. Attracting the kinds of people that you are becoming. So purpose will make a difference when you make up your mind that you want to live it. So it's not a joking matter. It's not. If I wish, let it come. Nobody becomes anything tangible by wishing. You know that statement that people make, that when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. Many of them get to the bridge and never cross it. Because life is never lived by a random decision. It's lived by a deliberate and intentional decision. Some people want to enter 2020, and the only thing you are waiting for is that on the 31st, they will prophesy and will pray. And you wonder why you don't see me before you start the year. He positioned at the time that Jesus will pass, and what happened? He got his miracle. So there's a positioning for a miracle. There's a positioning for success. There's a positioning for excellence. There's a positioning for influence. You had it today.
Hi friend, thank you for watching this beautiful video, and I hope you agree.
Welcome to this special episode of Growth School. Welcome to this special episode of Growth School, and we will be having these amazing moments. Oh, welcome, Debbie Yinka. It's nice to have you. So we'll be up for Growth School very shortly. Okay. So today we are looking at the topic most defining moments. Most defining moment, and it's a really special episode because it's really going to open your eyes to a lot of things. For some of the things I'll be sharing, they are likely things that may have heard of, but you will be learning a lot of new things at this time that would get to inspire you, transform you, grant you certain insights that would so change your life and that would open you up to new possibilities that you have not seen. So we are looking at most defining moment, the positioning for life opportunities. So positioning for life opportunities. So how can you begin to position for life opportunities, for life-changing opportunities? Okay, so most of the times you see people who, most times you just get to look at certain people in around you or certain people in the economy, in the nation, in the world, and to some extent you seem to have placed some special value on them, as though, oh, these people are just so extraordinary, that's why they are what they are. These people are just special in their own way, that's the reason why they are what they are. And most of the times you begin to lose what you can become. You begin to lose your own life-changing opportunities that can so change your life, that can transform you, that can make you the best person that you can be. So irrespective of what you do, irrespective of who you are, irrespective of the background you are from, irrespective of the challenges that you may be facing in your immediate environment, your immediate community, your immediate nation, there's really a way to create the life-changing opportunities that you really want. And I'm saying this because for certain people that we've read of, you heard about, you see them, you applaud them, you see all the cheers, you see all the things that happen, and they make you feel like, oh, these people, can I really accomplish this? Can I really become this? Can I really become that? There's a passage in the Bible that says something. It says that there is actually nothing new under heaven, for the things that are actually things that are being. Okay, and the things that will be are actually things that have been. Okay, it's in the book of Ecclesiastes. Now, I want you to really understand that the fact that there are certain results you have seen some people accomplish really means that if you can understand what has brought them to where you are, you can also accomplish that same thing. Okay, it's a top secret. Now, you should not estimate the things that people become until you understand what they have done to become where they are, until you understand what sacrifices and what price they seem to have paid to arrive at where they are. So they can always be that most defining moment in your life. You know, there are such instances where you hear stories of somebody that says, oh, I grew up from a very poor background. In fact, where I grew up from is not a place anyone wants to associate with. But today they became very influential, very celebrated. They became people that receive certain awards that you say, can such person never get these things? And I will be sharing with you, I have about 6 things here, 6 attributes or 6 major steps or 6 major ingredients that can really help you position for your own life-changing opportunities, which means life-changing opportunities that grant you escape velocity privileges, that grants you the applaud, the embrace of great people, that grants you the ability to be able to become that person that moves from obscurity to massive visibility, or that individual that moved from a point where no one ever wanted to associate with you to a point where you became an highly demanded personality. So, what are those attributes that can create that life changing moment? Listen, I did not say that, oh, maybe a prophetic word came or there is an extra spiritual event that takes place, but you can really create. You can create your own life changing opportunities, and you can know that these are the exact things you did that brought you to where you are. Listen, if there is any result in your life that you are not able to replicate, okay, never celebrate it because you will soon lose it. I will say that again. If there is any result in your life that you do not know the exact thing to do that would help you replicate it, never celebrate it too soon because you will soon lose that success. So until you get to that point where you understand what you did and you can replicate that system to achieve that success again, it's not worth celebrating. It's not worth celebrating. Let me see. I have a comment here. Oh, thank you very much. Thank you so much. Okay, so never get to the point where you celebrate a result that you cannot replicate. Now, what's the number one ingredient? And as I'll be sharing a lot of these attributes, a lot of these systems, a lot of these things that would really help you get to the point where you can accomplish and get a lot of those things. Oh, thank you so much, Princess Augustine. It's nice to have you on Growth School. Okay, now, as I'll be sharing a lot of those things, I'll be picking some practical biblical characters. Okay, I'll be sharing their stories and how they were able to arrive at those certain instances. That's why I said whatsoever is right now is actually something that was in the past. And the fact that it was in the past means it's still possible today. But the problem many of us seem to have is that we don't seem to be students of history. And because we refuse to be students of history, we seem to make the same mistakes that certain people in the past made that did not make them arrive at certain heights. You want to get to that point where, oh, right now in your career level, you are not so pleased at it, and you want to accomplish so much in career. You want to be the most sought after in your career. You are looking forward to the next promotion, or probably financially right now you don't have as much as you should have. You seem to be broke financially. Every time you get to the point whereby you have money at this instance, and just few moments from that time you go to being broke again, then there seems to be a problem. There seems to be an attribute that you're losing. Or maybe a lot of the time you start with so much passion and zeal, so much interest that, oh, I'm going to become this, I'm going to accomplish this, I'm going to get that, I'm going to fulfill that, I'm going to get to the point where I'll do this. And before you know it, just few days after that, you become very low on motivation. And you now begin to become the opposite. You become the shadow of that personality you have always claimed you want to be. Then there has to be a problem. Then there has to be something that you still don't know yet. There has to be something that you need to bring into yourself. You need to imbibe. You need to know, and you need to begin to do. Okay. Now, I shared this on TikTok yesterday, and I think I will start on that note. I shared this on TikTok yesterday, and I think this really relates to the topic we're talking about, your most defining moment. Most defining moment. You must begin to understand that people are not generally moved by your process until it becomes result. People are not generally moved by your process until your process becomes results. You see, I see a lot of people who say, "Oh, I have this dream, I have this vision, I want to become this." Okay? They talk about it, they talk about, oh, they are going to do this, do this, do this until they become that. But you don't really understand that the real work is not done in the things that you say. I'll say that again. The real work that empowers and enforces your vision and dreams, they are not in the things you say. They are in the things you do that are not seen. But they are only appreciated when those things become results. For example, nobody knew the experiences that David had in the bush. The moment David had to train how to use the sling, how he trained how to use the stone and the sling, how he trained how to tear apart the mouth of lions, how he trained how to protect sheep. No one saw it. But you know what? There was that moment, okay? There was that experience that came. There was that instance that came that he was going to step into his most life defining, most defining moment in his life. And then people wanted to listen to him that, wow, you had such courage, you had such confidence that you are going to do this. Why? It was that time where the things he was doing in secret that people did not see then became relevant. Now, your most treasures moments that would create your most defining experiences and your most defining testimonies, your most defining successes are going to begin to happen not in the open but in the secret. Every of the people you celebrate, you hardly see them talk about what they were doing in secret until those things became certain results in their life. But you right now, you are already trying to come out to teach many things you have not proven. And that's the reason why you are so under pressure to begin to fake the results that are not really there. You right now, you're trying to teach people how to make money when you are still struggling with even getting your first 100,000 naira. And for that reason, you are under the pressure of showing forth as though you are already a millionaire. So your most defining moment will not happen by the things you fake, they will happen by the things that you work to become. I will say that again. Your most defining moment will not happen by the things you fake, they will happen by the things you work on to become. And I wrote something in my book titled 30 Lessons Life Taught Me Before 30. And one of the lessons is that always try to become instead of belong. Ha! I will say that again. Always work on becoming instead of belonging. Listen, it's possible to try to belong to the clique of billionaires, millionaires, and yet you are not a millionaire. But you know what happens? When the time comes to prove what you are, it will be a huge disappointment. So I would say again that your most defining moments would not come by the things you fake that you are, they will come by the things you work on to become. So it's more about the things you work on, it's more about your becoming than you're trying to belong. And listen, there is no one who jumps up to grow up. Everyone grows up to stay up. I will say that again. You do not jump up and remain up. When you jump up, you come down again. But when you grow up, you remain up. So the things I'll be talking about, and the kinds the kind of things I'll be talking about on how you can position for life-changing opportunities are things that would have to do with your becoming and your transformation. Okay. Now, number one, let's talk about using successes. Using successes. Now, how do you position for life-changing opportunities? Using successes. Now, you must understand that people do not recommend you for opportunities until they are aware of your previous success. People do not recommend you for life-changing opportunities until they are aware of your previous success. Now, there are a lot of people right now that are looking for people that would just invest millions into their businesses, millions into their ideas, millions into their talents, millions into the things they could achieve without, okay, trying to create track record on things they can present that they have already accomplished. Okay, so life-changing opportunities will only happen when you understand how to use your previous success. Some people right now, you have done amazing things. For example, maybe in your little group, maybe in your little church, maybe you attended a conference and you had the ability to ask certain questions. You met your long desired mentors. You were able to, you were nominated for an award. You got to a point where you did something. Maybe you were the MC of a particular global event. You had the ability to attend an event. Some of those things are successes, but you know the problem? A lot of people do not know how to use their successes. You know, I told someone at a point that sometimes the person who is nominated for an award may seem to become more successful than the person who received the award. Why? Because the person who received an award may not know how to use that particular receipt of that award. But the person who is nominated can walk up into a particular organization, can walk up to certain individuals that can give them greater opportunities and say, oh, I have the privilege to be nominated to be amidst the 30 on the 30 greater achiever. Okay, and then you begin to express certain milestones and the things that were used. Now, let me tell you something. Most times when you go for an interview, maybe for example, you go for a job interview, you go for a career interview, you go for a scholarship interview, most of the times, the interviewers are trying to understand what successes have you achieved. What are the things you have done? What are the things you have determined? I'm going to achieve this, and I got to the point where I got it. Now, for example, you say, oh, I'm a goal-getter. Give us an example of an instance where you set a goal, and then you did certain things to achieve that goal. That's how it's being done. When you share your story, don't just tell us, oh, I became an award-speaking author. What are the things you did? Okay, no, you could say, oh, previously I used to be very shy, but I got to the point where I started reading books. I started watching videos on top public speakers in my industry. I picked up opportunity to speak in little groups. When I go for an event, I always do well to connect with new personalities. And today I got to the point where I became an award-winning speaker. So you tell us the goal, and then you tell us the journey. You don't try to tell us the journey when you've not attained the goal. So you must understand how to use successes. Now, same thing on that. I posted something on Facebook recently that your previous success is only a passport for the next level. And the reason why people don't step into very great moments in their life and don't move into greater advantages and higher level of opportunities is because some people sit on their past success for too long. You sit on the past success on the fact that, oh, in the past, oh, I did this. In the past, I went to that event and I was a speaker. In the past, I was invited. Look at this flyer. You stayed on a flyer that you were invited in 2020. And since 2020 till now, you have not been invited again for a greater platform. Why? Because you settled so much on that previous success. So the way to use the previous success is that you utilize them to prepare for greater opportunities. And it is in your preparation that you are invited for greater platforms. It is in your preparation that you become invited for greater platforms. Don't settle for too long. Don't settle for a very long time in your previous success. You must only understand how to use it. How to use it. Now, if you meet a great personality, let's say you meet a great leader, top leader in your industry, what success would you record, or will you tell him you have accomplished? Okay, like you're telling the person, oh, I want to do this for you. Based on what? Based on what have you done in the past? What's your CV that can tell us that you have the ability to do this again? Let me tell you right now, I've had instance that I wanted to really moderate. I wanted to MC a particular event for a very big personality. I just read that I wanted to do it for free. But guess what? I was not given the opportunity to do it. Why? Probably this personality, I've not seen a level at which that was being done in the past that makes him feel that I can do it again. What do I have to do? I expand my capacity, I build on new levels, and then I begin to update my CV. Never get intimidated when you are not given that great opportunity. What you have to do is to go back and prepare, achieve more successes that would be the doorway to getting there. So number one is using successes. Number two, is the signing instructions. The signing instructions. And I'm going to use two different characters from the Bible, and maybe three. Now, number one, I'm going to look at the story of Joseph. Now, remember, if you are familiar with Bible stories, remember Joseph in the Bible. Joseph was that guy who had a dream. He got so excited about his dream. He shared it with his parents. He shared it with his brothers, and they became envious of him. They became intimidated by his dream, and at that instance, they hated him. He dreamt again, and his brothers got to the point where they felt like, okay, we shall see how you're going to accomplish that dream. But listen, a lot of the time, people miss this part of the story. There was an instruction that actually set Joseph on the journey to becoming great in life. There was just one instruction. And what was the instruction? It was instruction, go to thy brethren and give them this food. Go to thy brethren and give them this food. Do you know that if Joseph missed that instruction of going, or probably felt, oh, they hated me, they didn't like me when I shared my dream, they didn't like me when I did this, they felt I'm going to become too great for them, and they were feeling like this, I don't think I want to go, I don't think I want to become this, and he decided not to go, he would have hindered the journey that would have made him a prime minister. Do you know, it was not just the skill of Joseph that made him a prime minister, it was the signing and instruction that set him on that journey. You know, it was after that going, they planned a coup against him, and after planning that coup, they took up his garments, they dipped it they took up his garments, sold him to the Egyptians, and that was how he got a free journey to the land where he was going to fulfill and become he was going to become that great personality that he became. Now, some of you right now, some instructions that would have made you great and that would have created that most defining moment are the instructions you are saying no to. For example, instructions of, please, can you help us do this in your church? Oh, please, can you help us do this in that initiative? Oh, please, do you think you can help us organize this group of people? Most of the times, those instructions are what create your most defining moments. So Joseph got to that point that you obeyed that instruction despite all of the things that may be. But you know what some of you are doing? Now, what you're trying to do is, oh no, I'm shy. I don't think I can speak in public. I don't think I can do this. I don't think I can go there. I don't think I can do this. And you don't know you're limiting your own most defining moments. And you are moving out of position to the greatness that you should become. The signing instructions. Some of you right now, you are running away from mentors. Why? Because the instructions they are giving you, you feel they are too hard, they are too tough. Are they the only one? I can figure out my life my way. But you are missing out of instructions that can change your life. Some of you right now, someone is trying to tell you, why not pick up a master's degree from, okay? Or why not try to apply for a scholarship abroad? Say, oh, it's too tough. It's not everybody that can make it. You need lots of money. At least start. You know what Joseph did? He didn't complain. He went to carry the food and he began the journey. He began the journey. He began the journey. He began the journey. Let me pick another instance. David. You know, this part of the story, most of us don't see it. We've read the Bible a lot of the time, but we don't seem to see this. Do you remember that it was his father Jesse that said, oh, David, your brothers right now should be hungry, and now they're in the war front. Can you take this meal to them and go and feed them? Do you know that it was in choosing to obey that instruction by taking the food and going to the war front? You say, Dad, oh, war front. I don't want to die. I don't want to do this. That's what some of you are doing. I don't want to die. I don't want to do this. I don't want to disappoint. They say, come and do this. This one. And you are complaining. You are doing all of those things. But you don't know that you are losing out of the greatness you should become. It is those instructions that can make the difference, that can begin to set you on the journey of greatness. That may be the place where you will get to meet the person who will say, oh, you did it so well, take my card. I will invite you to come and MC my wedding. Oh, I will invite you to come and moderate my birthday. I will invite you to come and do this. Or maybe they told you, oh, they want to have this event. Oh, maybe you can just try to maybe do the decoration, do all of the things that will be done. You don't know, maybe it's in doing that, someone would just say, who did this? Give me the person's contact. And that's how you change your life forever. Most of the people you seem to celebrate, most of the people that you see, they have become so great, they were so poor. Their story was the story being from the story of grass. And most of them right now, you can't even measure their past to the present life that they are in right now. Why? Because their story have changed entirely. They all obeyed certain instructions. And listen, some of these instructions may not even be really like very spectacular way, may not even come from the outward, but there are a lot of the things God seems to be telling you from within to do, but you're running away from them because you are scared. Most times, these things that scare you are the things that will create your life-changing moments. Most of the things that scare you. Let me give you an instance. I think this was 2018, when we're to start Purpose Hangout. We're to start Purpose Hangout in Abiodun. But the initial idea I had in my mind was, maybe let's make it a conference where we just do it one-off. Let's make a lot of people just come in. I invite certain guests to come. And then we just end the conference that way. But in my mind, I didn't feel it. I didn't feel like, oh, let's go the conference way. One of those days I was just praying, I was meditating, and an inspiration just came. Okay, why not do it this way? I started drawing the chart. Okay, from here to this way, do it this way, do it this way, go this way, go this way. It was scary. Like, I've not done this before. I mean, like me doing it myself, though I've done in the past where I've been put in front of a structure that I'm created, but I creating the structure and being the one inviting people to be the convener, I've not done it before. That was going to be the first time, 2018. And then I obeyed. The first challenge we faced was how to get a venue to start in Abeokuta. Okay. Now I've relocated from Abeokuta. I'm not in Abeokuta anymore. How could we get a venue in Abeokuta? So I called a friend. A friend told me, okay, gave me someone's contact. I met the person. The person gave a particular charge. We tried to leverage your partnership. My friend stepped in. How did we get guests? I just reached out to two friends, one from Ibadan, one from Covenant University. Both of them showed interest. They came up. I got partnership with someone who worked in the confectionaries industry, and all of the things just worked out. Okay, someone volunteered to become the event planner. Now, what am I bringing out? If I did not obey the instruction to start, that journey would not have happened. Okay, so I obeyed one instruction per time, until the point where that event became a success. But guess what? That Purpose Hangout did not stop at only one. We moved on until we had 10 editions between 2018 to 2020. Why? Just by discerning and obeying instructions. So most of the things that will create your life-changing moments are things that will scare you. But until you choose to obey that instruction, it will not set you on the motion to greater possibilities, to escape velocity opportunities, and will not be able to really change your life. So the discerning instruction is the number two thing you have to take note. So number one is using successes. Number two is discerning instructions. And I shared on the story of Joseph and the story of David. Now, let me share one more story. So this would seem balanced. Some of you have, maybe if you are familiar with the Bible, you may have read the story of Esther. Some people thought that it was only, oh, Esther had favor. She was favored. She had the anointing and grace for favor. Favor came upon her life. Oh, Esther, Esther, Esther. Amazing. And people will pray, the favor of Esther come upon me. Good. Amazing. But you're missing something in the story. Read the story more deeply. Remember our uncle Mordecai told us something. He says that this particular man have always been the one that have dressed up and decorated and beautified the queens for the king. He has an idea. He has something that always pleases the king. And out of all of the virgins that went for that contest, only Esther was chosen. Why? Because she obeyed an instruction. Okay, maybe I'm going to stop here. I'm going to take maybe about the next 15 minutes. We'll be done soon. And only Esther obeyed that instruction. And by obeying that instruction, Esther decided to use the ointment that was recommended for her. She decided to follow every instruction that was given to her, even though every of those other ladies came in and were like, oh, I have my own ointment. All the guys in the street, they have been following because I've been using this perf, because I've been using this ointment. And they felt it was going to please the king. Yes, something just dropped in my mind right now. Most times, what you are used to does not mean what would really work when you need to be before kings. There is something that kings are used to, and until you obey the instructors that gives you the ideas of what kings use, you would not be able to get the outcome that the kings could offer you. So out of every one of them, it was not just favor alone. It was not just the fact that, oh, when Esther showed up, everyone loved her. There was that part. Oh, this is so deep. There was that part where she needed the royal understanding. She needed a royal schooling, and she needed to obey someone that had an understanding of that territory to be able to make her win the contest. Now, let me ask you the question. You really want to dine with kings? You want to get the reward that kings can offer? Who are you listening to? And that would connect me to the next point, which is number 4, selective teachers. Selective teachers. You desire that, oh, you want to get premium, excellent opportunity. You want to be given this particular amount for the things you do. You want to get to the point where you are paid this particular amount for speaking or for singing or for doing your spoken word artist or for being invited for platforms or for doing this. You want to get such privileges, but who are you listening to? Who are your teachers? What kind of books are you reading? Who are the people that advise you? Can you understand? Esther got counseled. She got taught by someone who has been in the royal territory, royal environment, who had deep understanding of it. Let me see. Oh, wow. Mommy Missy Darambola, thank you so much for joining. Profound. Yeah. She was in that particular territory. Okay. And she got to the point where she listened and obeyed that instruction, and she became the queen eventually. So it was not just prayer. It was not just a lot of the spiritual things that people say and all of that and all of this. There was something more to it. There was something more to it. Okay? Selective teachers. Selective teachers. Some of you right now, some people right now, maybe not you. I know you have been on growth school and you understand the value and all of that. Some people right now, you spend your time on all those TikTok challenge, and you know, all those ladies that will draw their clothes up and they'll be dancing and doing all of those, and that's what you are focusing on. You are not ready. You are not ready for the king's life. You are not ready to become a king. You are not ready to be, you are not ready to be a visionary. You are still playing, you are still joking. You are not creating a laser focus for what you want to become. Why? Because we know your teachers. If you can tell me what you have been watching in the past 1 week, what you have been reading in the past 1 week, who you have been following for the past 1 year, who you have been discussing with in the past 1 year, I can tell exactly if you're set for the journey of greatness and you are ready for certain opportunities or not. Selective teachers. Listen, there can be many good teachers, but not all of those good teachers are right for you. There can be many good teachers, but not all of them are good for you. Remember, Joseph needed certain training in the house of Potiphar that would prepare him for the assignment in the palace. He was taught, prepared by who? Potiphar. Potiphar was one of the respected people in Egypt, one of the most esteemed people in Egypt. Okay, so he needed to go through that training. He needed such teacher to be able to what? To set him on the journey to getting to become the prime minister. All right, so I've talked about one, using successes. Maybe I'll just create a part 2 probably next week. So most defining moments. Number 1, using successes. Number 2, discerning instructions. And number 3, selecting your teachers. Selecting your teachers. You need to select your teachers. Where are you going? The fact that this person has millions of followers, this person has hundreds of thousands of followers, does it really mean that that person should be your teacher? Does it really mean that that person should teach you? The system of selective teachers. If you can begin to use these 3 things, they would get to help you to become better, to change your life, to enable you more and more, and then to impact you. I don't know if there are questions that you have. If you got value, let me see in the comment section. Let me see you say value, 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 value. Value, 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 value. Let me see your questions. That's it for tonight. That's it for tonight. That's it for tonight. If you have questions, let me see your questions in the comment section. Let me see your questions. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. I'm waiting for your questions. Let me see your questions. Let me see your questions. Most defining moments. Most defining moments. Interesting. All right, guys. So before I go, I want to tell you about my book. All right, thank you so much. Hold up. Thank you so much, Victoria Ife. Thank you so much. I can see that. All right. Before I go tonight, I want to talk about one of my book. So it's titled Mind Shift. Mind Shift. The Power, the Untold Secrets and Power of Your Mind. So it's available right now. You can order for it. It's available as ebook. Okay, it's available as ebook. You can choose to order a copy of this book. I can tell you it's an amazing book, and it's available at a very cheap price. You'll be surprised. If you go check the price, you will be surprised. Just go to the link bit.ly/order mindshift. That's the message, please. It's order mindshift. Order mindshift. Order mindshift. An amazing book. And do to order the book. Okay, let me just post that. Order Mindshift. You can go right now and get the book. So what I would do is would have a part 2 series of most defining moments. That should be next week, same time, 8 p.m. Join me. Let's have this discussion and let's get more deeper. Thank you so much. I can see you got so much value already and you've learned something new. So begin to understand how to use successes, discern instructions that come to you, and also select your teachers carefully. Select your teachers carefully. Select your prophets carefully. Okay, that's it for tonight. And I leave you in the hands of my friend.
If you are blessed, can you click
Ignition 2.0.
A marriage that ends together without a purpose, there's something that will happen. There'll be fight at the end. A marriage that ends together without a purpose, they will give birth to children that will be confused. And those children will now step up and begin to wonder, what kind of family did I come into? Let me tell you one thing, if for nothing you don't want to be purposeful because of the seeds that will come out of you. The reason why some of you are at the level you are and you are angry of life is because your parents joined themselves together without the purpose for life. And before you know it, you will transfer the same thing to your children, and your children will now come out with, oh God. I need to say something very humorously. At the end of the time, the world system creates a cycle you need to live. You were born, you were trained at home, you were sent to school. By the time you finish from school, they will tell you to go and serve. And when you finish serving, they will say get a job. After getting a job, the world will say it's time to marry. Is that also? When you marry, they say give birth to children. They say one is not enough, give birth to another. Two is not enough, give birth to another. And before you know it, you train those children, you grow old, and the only thing you are waiting for is to die. What a cycle of life that is so summarized. What a cycle of life that is so short. And you do not see the things that should be more than the system of the world. The world created that system. No wonder only few people become celebrated in a generation. Even from Bible days, how many people really mattered in the time of the children of Israel? Only few. Moses, Joshua, Caleb, and few other names. What happened to the many millions? How many people were celebrated in the time of Gideon, and few people that we only heard of their name? What happened to the multitude? You now begin to wonder why you attend many programs, but you cannot tell what role they need to play in your life. So Ignition 2.0 must not be that another program that you will only add to the list of the ones you attended, but you let out of here with a deliberateness and with an intention that you want to live your life with a difference. Let me tell you why foolish people will keep coming to you. They will keep coming to you because they have not seen the definition of their life that will repel them away. You are attracting the kinds of people that you are becoming. So purpose will make a difference when you make up your mind that you want to live it. So it's not a joking matter. It's not something that if I like, let it come. If I wish, let it come. Nobody becomes anything tangible by wishing. You know that statement that people make, that when we get to the bridge, we'll cross it. Many of them get to the bridge and never cross it. Because life is never lived by a random decision. It's lived by a deliberate and intentional decision. Some people want to enter 2020, and the only thing you are waiting for is that on the 31st, they will prophesy and they will pray, and you wonder why you don't see miracles in your life when you step into a new year. It is because there is a position that you need to be for a miracle to happen in your life. It is beyond the prayers. It is beyond just longing and wishing and prophesying. You must position for miracle if you want to see it happen. Let's go to scripture. The woman with the issue of blood, if she only waited and wished that a miracle will come to her, she will never have gotten it. She positioned for it to happen. Blind Bartimaeus did not just wait and say, if this will happen, it will happen one day. He positioned at the time that Jesus will pass. And what happened? He got his miracle. So there's a positioning for a miracle. There's a positioning for success. There's a positioning for excellence. There's a positioning for influence. You are today.
Hi friend, thank you for watching this beautiful video.